What's going on, guys? Niko here, and in this video, I'm going to show you 5 different melody patterns, which are also known as arpeggiations, and how you can use these patterns to help you write better melodies, chord progressions, and build around a vocalist, which is the example we're going to walk through today. Here it is.
Back to you again, you are just different, telling me to say I should walk away.
I'm also going to show you how you can write this melody in minutes. Before we jump in, want to let you know I'm giving away 5,000 melodies, royalty-free. Comment down below melody mastery and subscribe to the channel. I select one winner every Friday. So the first arpeggiation we're going to go over today is known as the back and forth arp. It sounds fantastic when paired on a piano and a vocalist, but you can also use it on other instruments. Let's listen in, and then I'm going to build this arp with you.
Lost my faith in you, you found me, I should have walked away.
So the first step before you build your arp, you have to have your chord progression. Thankfully, I've already built out the chords here. The progression we're using is A minor, F, C, and G. Now, the back and forth arp, as you heard before, it has a movement where it just literally goes back and forth. That's why I named it that, right? And typically what I like to arpeggiate with the back and forth is the root note of our chord and our third. So as you can see here in the first chord, it's A minor, C, G. It's an A minor chord. I used the 2-3 strategy to build it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring this C up an octave, and then I'm going to bring this A down here. So all we have to do now is arpeggiate back and forth these two notes. And it's really simple. You can just create eighth notes like this, and I'll do it live. I'll drag these over. Boom, boom. Here we go.
Lost my faith in
It's just so easy, right? But you know, it's tough to discover this stuff, especially if you don't play piano, you know? So you do the same thing here. And again, this can be a melody by itself. You can really do a lot of things with it. If I turn off the vocal here and you just listen into this here, let's listen in what we can do. See, like I'm already thinking about melodies in my head. And then you could repeat it again here. Anyway, this may sound good with the vocal. Let's listen and see.
Lost my faith in you, you found.
So I think that sounds pretty good. And the cool thing is, because we have this F chord here, an F major chord, the next chord, F, A, C, what I did was I kept the same back and forth because the notes are actually in the chord. F, A, C, and this is arpeggiating A, C. So we're actually arpeggiating these two notes right here. But it worked, it sounded good, so I kept it. Now moving on to our next arpeggiation. This one is a lot faster here. This is probably my favorite one. I've labeled it Arp Heaven, and here's why. So when I pull up my keyboard here, you'll notice the notes in the white keys are labeled 1 through 7. This is actually showing us the key of C major. Now what I do on this channel is I teach melody starters, different melody patterns that sound good. So to create Arp Heaven, we only need 2 notes. We need the first in the key of C major, which is number 1, 5, and then 1. And what we do is we arpeggiate that very, very quickly. And that's what I've done for you right here. I've taken the C, the G, the C, and the G, and arpeggiated it back and forth very quickly, and just listen in right now. So this is only a starting point, right? Because what we can do is we can move these notes at the top of the Arp Heaven up and down, and we just have to make sure they're on the white keys so it stays in the key that we're playing in. Now let's just listen to this with the song at this point. I don't know if I showed you guys this part yet, but let's listen in.
Falling to the floor, saying I want more. Ask me yes or no, baby, I don't know.
Now it sounds cool. Maybe it can be more of an atmospheric effect and not really in your face melody. But what I want to do is, her vocal cuts out right here. So I want to slowly just bring this in. And I'll show you guys some really cool trick with my EQ thing. And you can automate this in whatever DAW you're in. I'm going to keep it really cut here. Let's just listen in.
Falling to the floor, saying I want more. Ask me yes or no, baby, I don't know.
And it's really cool here because like when our vocal cuts out, we can write a melody and it won't sound as annoyingly repetitive. Dun, 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 dun. Let's listen in. I mean, it just sounds, it's ridiculous. Like I'm surprised I'm giving all this information away. You guys like the video and subscribe. Make sure you definitely do that. So that is the second ARP. That is what I call Arp Heaven. It sounds amazing with almost any chord progression in the key. Let's move on to the next one. So the root note ARP here is something that's fantastic that can be used. And again, if you really just understand the melody starters and how the keyboard works, it's really simple. So what I've done is I've laid quarter notes out of the root note of the chord progression we're working with, A minor, F, C, G, and you can listen right here. Now this is somewhat similar to Arp Heaven and the back and forth ARP, except now we're writing our top melody and we keep retreating back to the root note. Let me show you what I mean. So let me just draw some notes in, maybe C here, D, I'm keeping everything in key, and I'm just making it, you know, every other note. So if you listen in, let's listen. Let's drag it here. Let's just give this a shot and see how this sounds in the drop now of this part of the song. Whoops. And this is this back, this back and forth type of arpeggiation, but we're going off the root note of the chord. Let's drag this here. C, whoops. See how this sounds? And guys, I'm just literally just testing stuff out. Like, I don't know what's gonna sound good, what's not. Actually, I do know what's gonna sound good, but here we go. Let's try this here, and let's drag these here. Okay. All right, so that's a foundation, right? But let me make it a little better. So dun dun dun. So something that you can do with this root note, since I know this is an F major chord and I know it's F, A, and C, I'm gonna drag this up to the A. Because I want to keep this consistent right here because I think it's gonna sound much better. Let's listen now. And maybe this last note, we'll just change it. And then we go up to our C here. And then let's listen now. And there's a lot of things I'm doing. I'm not even going to tell you this. I'm going to have to watch the next video how I'm actually making these melodies because they're actually based off of a certain type of chord. And that's what I'm using to create and design this melody. But now you see, you get the root note, you go back and forth between something in the scale, something on the white keys. Again, we're doing this in the key of C to keep it simple. And that is the root note ARP. We got two more left. Keep watching through. They're so valuable and so much information in this video. I really want you guys to take away with. So let's get on to now the fourth ARP. All right, so the rolling ARP is the fourth one we're covering here, and this is a very simple one. It shouldn't take that long at all. All we're doing is we are literally taking the chord and we're rolling it out individual note by note. So in the back and forth, if I just solo this right here, we have this A minor chord, right? So what I want to do is I want to take the notes of A minor. So this is an E, and it doesn't really matter, in what order they're done. You can experiment with this. Let's listen in. Let's get rid of that. Let's make it faster. And see, it's really cool because you can even combine something like this with a back and forth. So we roll out our chord going up, and you could hear it here. Here we go. And then you could take the same exact chord, and let me maybe do that, or maybe I'll go up higher to the A. And then what you can do is This is minor, so I'm just going to make a couple changes when I copy this over to the F chord. Bring this down to an F. And this needs to be... Okay. Let's listen in now. Let me just do one thing real quick. Drag this here. Here we go. You'll see what I'm doing in a second, guys. Okay.
Lost my faith in you. You found me. I should have walked away.
It's pretty cool, right? So what I did was all I did, and this is getting a little sloppy over here, was I just took the chord and I rolled it out and arpeggiated it going up. So all you have to do is find the chords, know the notes, and then basically you can either do it with eighth notes or you can do it with quarter notes or 16th notes. It's really up to you just to experiment with what really suits your taste. So let's jump into the last arpeggiations known as the triplets arp. So I'll definitely have more videos on rhythms and patterns in the future on this channel, but I want to show you guys a quick thing that you can do to get your triplets arp. So if we go back to our Arp Heaven here, and I'll play it for you real quick. So this is very, very fast, but when you feel triplets rhythm, you feel something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And in Logic and in other DAWs, when you quantize your notes here, you can quantize to go for a triplet. So if I quantize this, that was loud. If I quantize this right here, you're going to hear this rhythmic pattern. Now, what I do here is I'm going to get rid of this G. And you'll see it's just the singular notes. And that's your triplets arp. And again, there's more to go into this, but this video's already gone on long enough. So you can listen to the triplets arp now. Let me just delete these and we can hear it in the chorus of our song. Let's listen in here and hear how this sounds. I'll put it without the vocalist. And it brings a different element, a different rhythmic pattern that complements the rest of the song. So I particularly liked Arp Heaven better in this scenario. Triplets arps sound really good when you're making beats or other projects like that. So it's really, again, just you to sit down, draw these out for yourself and to experiment, and you're going to find your own sounds from your own history. Again, the way I discovered all of this stuff was by playing through thousands and thousands of songs and really just inventing things as I was playing them and finding new patterns that kind of came together, and that's how I created these. But there's more different variations of all these types of arps, but these are 5 foundations that you now have to put in your songwriter's tool belt whenever you're going to sit down. This will help you get rid of writer's block and do so much more. So with that being said, that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share this video, tweet it, put it on Facebook, share it everywhere so everyone can get the same gift of songwriting. And that's why I made this channel, obviously to, show my own music, but also to help you guys out in your songwriting journey as a producer, vocalist, musician, whatever you may be. So again, like, comment, subscribe down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.